Alright, so I figured I should make a series on math because every day in the IRC channels I get someone who doesn't know about it and wants an explanation. So making a video seemed like a good idea because, well, I don't always want to write like a page of text. Also, it's easier to grasp when you know the concept. I will spread this out over multiple videos, I think, each of which will have a topic. And in this video, I will focus on what a vector is for practical purposes, like not strictly mathematical, where it's something from a vector space, but instead I will focus on R2 and R3, and I will usually draw stuff in R2 because, let's be honest, if you don't know anything about vector math, you will be doing a 2D game and not a 3D one. So first I will draw a coordinate system. In this video I will try to explain what the difference is between a point and a vector, because a lot of people have problems understanding that there actually is a difference, and I hope I can kind of sort this out in this video. If something is not clear, please just leave a comment and might be able to improve my videos or explain it in some other way. If it's something simple that is unclear, I will probably just explain it in the comments. If it's a broader topic, I will make another video. So first we have a very simple coordinate system here. That's my y-axis, that's my x-axis, and we can draw a point here. So let's see, that's a point. I don't have a scale on that coordinate system, but let's just say this is 7, 8, something like that, or maybe 7, 10. It doesn't really matter, just you have the x coordinate and the y coordinate that I actually mixed up. It should be like 10, 7 because it's further on the right than it is on height. I don't know. And if you have an origin, like this is my origin, as you all know, or at least should know, this is 00, so 0, 0 is my origin. You can define other origins, you can also define other coordinate systems where your axes are rotated and all that good stuff. But that's not the topic of what I want to do today. So this is a point. I can draw loads and loads more points. I can draw a point here, I can draw a point there, I can draw a point there, but none of those points are vectors. They are points. A point basically is an absolute position in the space you define. So this is a point, this is a point, this is a point, and this is a point. A vector, however, consists of a direction and a length. This is a vector. And now you might say, well, this just defines a point. And you can define a point using vectors, but the difference I want to point out is that, as you can see, I'm copy and pasting these. All of these vectors are the same because a vector is uniquely defined by just its direction and its length. So that vector, and that vector, and that vector are all the same. However, if I draw this vector, it's different because it has a different direction and most likely a different length unless I accidentally made it the same. And just to be clear, I should make like this arrows, because otherwise there are two possibilities for what direction I might mean. So direction, 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 and again, just to make this complete. So now I drew 5 vectors. So you can see these 4 are the same, except my arrowheads are kind of different. But all of them mean exactly the same. Because in a vector, this point, I don't know if you can see the mouse actually, but this point here, you could call it the origin of the vector, is not necessarily defined. I will take this back. Okay. So you don't know if this vector starts where the upper one starts, or where the lower one starts, or the one on the right, or the one on the left. It doesn't matter, because the vector is the same. Depending on where they start, they point at a different point, but the vector is the same. But let's say I define my origin, then, oh well, that should be transparent, I guess. So now, if I define my origin as 0, 0, I can say this vector points at, let's say this is 3, 1. Looks like 3, 1 to me at least. So I will write this down. So now this vector can point at something, and that something would be the point 3, 1. In a similar manner, I can draw a vector from here to there, and that vector will point from this point to that point. But in that case, the origin of my vector would be here. And the parameters of a vector are always the same as if I was pointing, or are kind of the same parameters as the point that my vector would point to if it originated at the origin, which is 0, 0 here, would have. So if this vector would now point at 3, 1, then this vector would have 3, 1. Usually that's just one big bracket, but it doesn't allow it. So here you go. That vector would be 3, 1, and it would point to the point 3, 1. That's a fairly easy concept, but it's important that you understand that a vector isn't a point, and a point isn't a vector. You can define one by another, but a point has the information about its origin, whereas a vector doesn't. So if I had this vector here, it would be pointing from this point to that point, and if I said the origin of my vector here is that point, I can define the other point by just adding the vector to it. So now I will scroll down a bit. Basically, this is by no means formally correct. I just like to point this out. This is just to kind of explain what this is about. A point plus a vector is also a point. As you can see here, I hope you can see the mouse, otherwise I will have to re-record this. As you can see here, this is a point. I add a vector. I will go into adding and subtracting vectors in the next video, and I can define the other point by that. Then a point minus a point is a vector. I mean, that's fairly straightforward. Also, a a point minus a vector would be a point, and if, I mean, a point minus a vector is a point. If you just change that formula around, you get the same one I had there, because you just subtract p and you add v, and then you get the formula from above that. And that's the simplest way I can think of to explain what the difference between a vector and a point is. And it might seem useless to you now, but you will see that if you keep this in mind, it will make a lot of stuff simpler for you. And also, I won't laugh at you at ISC, which is a big plus in my opinion, because I'm not a funny person. I don't like to laugh or anything. Just kidding. Anyways, I think I will end this recording now, and I will make the next video about adding and subtracting vectors. Thanks for watching.